You know, if you were going at the speed of light, you would pass the moon in 1 1/3 second. You know how long it would take you to get to the nearest star besides our sun? At that speed, you'd be at the moon in a little over 1 second. It'd take you 4 years to get to the next star from our sun at the speed of light, 168,000 miles per second. 4 years. If you took the sun and brought it all the way down to 2 feet across, like a 2-foot basketball, and then you went the dimensions of just our solar system, and you went out to Mercury, and the sun's 2 feet across by this dimension. And you went out to Mercury, you'd have to go out about 165 feet from that basketball to get to the first planet, and that planet would be about the size of a mustard seed in comparison. You go another 120 feet to Venus, you put down a BB. Another 140 feet, you go to the Earth, you put down a green pea. 216 more feet, you're at Mars, you put down something the size of a pinhead. Then you've got the asteroid belt, so you throw out some dust. Then you go another 1,550 feet to Jupiter, and you put down an orange. 1,900 more feet, and you're at Saturn. Mickey, you put down a golf ball. And then another 4,200 feet to Uranus, you put down a marble. I don't know about Neptune, another 4,600 feet, you go to Neptune, you put down a cherry, and then I don't know if Pluto still matters. Does it matter? Well, if you're going to go to the nearest star by those dimensions, you have to go out another 2.5 miles to the nearest star. And that's the first star among millions of stars. It's been equated that there are as many stars that are out there as there are sands on our seashores, grains of sand. Go to the sea and pick up a handful of sand and try to count them, one by one, grain by grain, and imagine that is the stars. And the first star is that far away. And you know, this is just our galaxy that we're talking about. And by God's design, you can set your watch by all of that mass that is perfectly ordered. And to say there's no designer, the games you have to play to get to the reprobation, that you can make those kind of statements. Do you believe in atoms? You're sitting on them. I'm mostly empty space. Y'all probably already knew that. If you took me and brought me down to just 1 cubic inch, that's about what it would. I mean, if you took me down to what I would be if you got all the empty space out of me and it was just the atomic stuff going on, it would be like a pinhead. But if you took that mass and brought it up to 1 cubic inch, that 1 cubic inch would weigh about 1 billion pounds. That's how intense that mass would be. But we don't see atoms. But we know. We've got the evidence all around us that they exist. Someone says, I don't see God. Evidence is everywhere that God exists. Now, if you looked at a drop of water, it's filled with molecules. And if you increased each one of those molecules up to the size of a grain of sand, you could build a road 1 foot thick by 1/2 mile wide from New York to LA. That's what God did with just a drop of water. Water has that amazing ability to freeze from the top instead of the bottom like other liquids do. If it did the opposite, you'd kill everything. The earth rotates, tilts, orbits, the orbit controls its seasons. It's 25,000 miles in circumference, yet it hangs just out there in empty space, just held on by the gravitational pull of our sun. It goes through the air at 1,000 miles an hour as we spin through space at 1,000 miles per minute, and we don't even recognize, we're not doing, whoa, here we go. Perfect design. Perfect order. The moon controls the tilt of the earth, so we got seasons. We have seasons. It slows the revolving to a perfect 24-hour day. It controls the tides, controls our oceans. If it was just a little bit closer, then Miami would be underwater 12 hours a day. If it was just a little bit closer, tides would be out of control. Our moon is also so amazing because of how dark it is. It's reflectivity. The reflectivity of the moon is 7%. The reflectivity of the earth is 37%. That's how much it reflects the light that is put upon it by the sun. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn are 60 to 90% reflecting. If our moon was like their moons of Jupiter and Saturn, you'd have to wear moon glasses. It'd be like a headlight in the sky when you walk out at night. But God has put it up there so that romantic songs are written about it. It's just so beautiful. Just a perfect nightlight. It shows a God who loves us. Atmosphere is 21% oxygen. If it was 40 to 45 and somebody went out and said, I'm going to have a smoke, we'd all be gone. We'd all be smoke. Human heart, size of a fist, about 12 ounces. 12 hours, it does enough work to raise 65 tons off the ground. So much order, so much design, that you can go to a crime scene. You can take footprints and DNA samples and hair and skin fragments and blood fragments and all, and fingerprints. You can figure out who did this, because we are so unique in each one of our designs. God of order and power and love. And the guilt is that God chose to give man this level of evidence of himself, and that man has made the choice to reject it. Add to that the revelation of God in his word. Add to that the incarnation of the Son of God. And man is guilty without excuse.